breather. Welcome back to the LEC after an incredible game between Fnatic and TPDS. I have Wunder with me to run through this extended dragon fight in the mid game. And when I say extended, I really mean extended. But before we dive into it, how are you feeling?
Oof, I mean, after a game like this, a lot of emotions, of course. First of all, like, a little bit disappointed. I don't think we were expecting the game to turn out like this, and the game yesterday as well, I think is overall not the greatest week, we could say, but hopefully it was entertaining for the fans and everyone else.
I mean, I was entertained, and luckily you can bounce away with a few takeaways on a win still. It would have been even worse if it was a loss, but let's dive into the play. And Wunder, I'd love to get your thoughts on the communication in a Drake fight like this.
Well, I mean, in a case like this, I mean, I kind of scoffed the Gragas engage a little bit, but I mean, they do have a Kog'Maw mid, even though we have like a Corki and champs like this, they do outrange us a little bit, and it's kind of hard for us to do anything to them if we don't like force a fight, kind of. And that was kind of our communication at this point.
So talk me through communication as well. These are extended team fights. Like, is it just like keep talking? What's happening in comms right now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like the fight didn't turn out how we wanted to. There's like some trade kills, right? And I think here, like, I'm calling that I'm gonna base in TP because I'm like really chunked, right? And just one thing hitting me is gonna be my death, right? And I see Naur basing on the VoD that just expired, and I want to cancel him as well while my team is like winning or doing stuff. So like it's just a lot of things happening at the same time. And yeah, I mean, we were 3 Drakes down. I think they, I don't know, stole one or I think killed us right before Drake, where I think we should have gotten one. So they were on soul point for like almost the entire game, and we just had to fight every single one of them.
So we're saying extended once again because it's the same Drake fight, just like people are respawning here, they're coming through. I feel like we've been 2 minutes at this point. It's a re-engage on it. How are you approaching this Drake fight this time around? Because it does get messy.
I mean, here I'm like kind of in an awkward position. I don't even know what I'm doing, honestly. I mean, we just want to secure the Drake, and right now I'm like saying I don't have E, and we can maybe fight if they run into the pit. And they end up, well, just killing me, and I guess Senna overextends a little bit. But I'm not even sure what happens after this. I think we just keep fighting.
Who's taking charge of your teammates here then in communications?
Right now we're saying that they're coming from base, but we don't care because we're Fnatic and we like diving and just fighting at every possibility we get. So that's what we end up doing. And I think, yeah, I mean, at least we get the Drake, right? So
yeah, at least you get the neutral objective.
The takeaway. Yeah.
Only one way, and that is that's forward. So I guess I'll be sending you forward to the analyst desk instead.
Wow.
Well, you'll be joining the rest of them.
Such a good segue into my walk of shame into the analyst desk.
Yeah. Have fun with the rest of them, Wunder.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, GB. It was really nice for us to see that again. And I really like that we ask pros to help, and then sometimes you're just like, I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what anyone was doing, but we won.
Yeah, I mean, it was a special game, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was super entertaining for us. The last replay I want to show you is the final Baron fight, which was the grand finale of this game. So we're going to pull that up. Broxah, is there anything you want to do to intro this?
Well, I feel like similar to the fights that we just watched, like, there were just so many intense fights, back and forth, craziness all over the place, and I feel like the clip is gonna showcase exactly what I mean by that. There's just so much going on in all these team fights with the poke flying everywhere.
I don't see
I think we steal the tier as well, right?
Yeah, and we don't know how, actually. I mean,
probably the Sari ults.
Yeah.
It splashes a little bit.
Yeah, sneaky upset over the wall.
But
so
yeah.
you guys knew that, of course, they were doing Baron, right? So was the call, okay, we know we have to get in there. The call's probably not, we're going to try to steal. It's probably just engage, right?
We just want to fight, for sure. I mean, any point in this game, like, if we end up winning the fight,
we win.
I mean, for sure, if they have Nash and they can get someone to base, they can, like, stall it, right? But Elder Drake is coming up as well. Like, there's so many things going on. And, yeah, I mean, of course, like, getting the Nash helps us here to win, but the main objective is to, of course, win the fight. And if you get like a better numbers trade, you can for sure like look to end the game from this point.
It seemed like it was forever. I know that in one of the videos that you shot about the meta, you were talking about the fact that you can have like multiple fights and resets now because of the patch. Was it as fun as you imagined it in this fight?
I mean, this game, it was not as fun. I think there was like a lot of poke, right? So it was not really us playing the game. It was more like the Corgi and the Kog'Maw and just us doing like our own thing. So yeah, I mean, I'd say this game, it was not like as brawly and stuff like this, but there was like a lot of poke and just, I mean, in general, not like as much us playing, but just the mid laners kind of, and maybe Senna a little bit as well at some points.
Yeah, I like it. Just the others were doing the work. The Kia player of the game is upset. I mean, he did steal the Baron, so how could you not give it to him? I want to ask you a question about an interview that Razor gave about figuring out his role in the team, and that he realized that you guys needed a certain play from him in terms of helping out his laners as well, and that he had to adjust, and that there was some work to do in terms of communication. How do you think that's all going right now? I guess this game is probably not the best example.
Yeah, I mean, this game for sure. I mean, I just think in general this week has not been very good for us. There has been like some issues with practice as well, and like some unfortunate people like falling ill as well. But it's not like an excuse, of course. We should play a lot better. And I think, yeah, I mean, we just have a lot of issues that we haven't really worked around yet, and that's something that we are looking to do coming into next weeks.
A win like this sometimes can help a lot in terms of the momentum spurring it on. Fnatic take this one, and coming up, we'll have the LG Ultra Gear match of the week between Vitality and G2.
Caps versus Perkz, Part 7.
Get ready this summer for the rematch of two rivals. Turned friends, then turned rivals again.
Oh, Caps! He just solo killed Perkz!
I want to beat them, but this split, the goal is to like have strong games.
But in his way stands the man who took his team, his arch nemesis, Caps, now surrounded by new blood and a dunk.
We still have a lot of way to go to be in like our final shape, so to say. But even though we're not at our best, it's going to be more than enough to take down Vitality.
Caps versus Perkz, Part 7, the Perkzing.
You guys know that there's more players than just Caps and Perkz, right?
This Saturday, 9 p.m.
Well, our match of the week, yes, we've already made the joke that it's week with an A because they both lost yesterday. In fact, Vitality lost twice to Excel, Broxah. But still, we're expecting to see a better side, I guess, of both Vitality and G2. And if we do, what are your expectations for this game?
So earlier we talked a lot about the top lane matchup. That's going to be one that's pretty interesting in my mind because both of these top laners are kind of known to be a bit more carry-oriented. And I'm actually curious to hear, Wunder, what are your expectations for this matchup, Alphari, BrokenBlade?
I mean, I think Alphari, I mean, there's a lot of the generalizing. He plays a lot for himself and stuff like this, right? I think it's true, like when he plays GP, you can see it. He likes to ult his own lane, not ult so much anywhere else. He likes to like TP maybe and like try to get advantages for himself. But I think just in general, like they're two strong players and they are playing like mostly the same champions. I'd say BrokenBlade is a little more creative when it comes to like his Yone or whatever he plays, right? Yeah. I think like last playoffs, I was playing against his Yone quite a lot, but it doesn't really seem to work as often. But then he found like a lot of comfort on the Ornn and champs like this, which he hadn't really been pulling off as much yet. So maybe that's something we're gonna see. But maybe he's just like during the splits, just experimenting a little bit with all the champions that he likes to play and finds fun.
Got a new tattoo too.
Yeah, he got a tattoo as well.
Oh my god. This funny, like, I mean, you were in an environment like this before, right? Where you had some clowns around you sometimes, no pun intended, because that's what they do. What do you think about that from a competitive standpoint, that they're just like doing silly stuff ahead of a match of the week?
I mean, a lot of teams have like different ways of showing that they have fun, right? I mean, some people like to keep it just internally, and when they go on stage, it's like full serious. And yeah, I mean, some people like to show the world, right? And I think G2 has that, even like from an organizational standpoint, they have like that kind of attitude. And you can like see it a lot in a lot of the players. Maybe sometimes Jankos is a lot more on the serious side, but he also likes to scream and have fun on stage, right? So I think it just depends on what kind of game they're going into. And this is like a regular season game, really early weeks, and they're like comfortable in the standings, right? So they are not... There's no need for them to stress out completely over this game, I think.
Yeah, I think the picks and bans are ready. We've had that before, so quick prediction. G2 or Vitality?
I think after yesterday, G2 is going to be pretty angry. They're going to want to make a comeback, so I think they're going to come
Perkz
out
or Caps?
Perkz or Caps? Oh, that's a different prediction than what Broxah just had. I'd say G2 is probably going to win. I'd say they're a better team. And I don't think they're going to get as creative or like, I mean, I felt like against BDS especially as well, they're kind of disrespecting a little bit. And maybe they're going to do it here, but I think they have like their personal or like individual ego as well. Like it's going to it's gonna make them play a little bit better at least.
Okay, a little bit more reserved maybe. All right, awesome. Let's get into our match of the week, Vitality versus G2.
Thank you very much, Sjokz. Great to hear from Wunder on the desk as well alongside Broxah. And what a day it's been. What a weekend it's been. I'll be honest, I'm like, the energy is dwindling a little bit, so I'm looking forward to seeing Team Vitality and G2 face off so they can give us a bit of a boost.
Yep. I'm full of energy. I didn't do any yelling in that cast. You two did,
okay,
so I'm ready to go.
Actually, yeah, you can play by play.
So you can solo cast. I love play-by-playing.
Vedius co-stream.
We're about to jump into our final draft of week 2, so without further ado, let's play the music. So, priorities for both sides. Gangplank is something I think we have to talk about, mainly on the side, well, I think when you think of Alphari, you typically think of Gangplank as a champion. He hasn't gotten his hands on it yet this split, but BrokenBlade, 2 games so far. Very solid blind, very contested pretty much all over the world, but it looks like junglers are already going to be removed inside of Vitality.
I expect the Lucian ban from G2, I expect a Yuumi ban from G2, and I expect a Wukong ban for G2. Unless they want to throw some spanner in the works, Vitality obviously can ban away things like the Zeri perhaps. Maybe some junglers as well could target. I mean, the Volley Bear's already down. Haru's only really played Wukong and Xin Zhao as well. We'll see what Jankos opts into. We saw his Vi yesterday, left a lot to be desired.
It definitely did. Vitality obviously have had the Gangplank ban against them in every single game so far. LeBlanc, respect ban against Caps. Ahri and Lissandra still on the cards, and there's the Yuumi ban. Met with rapturous applause from the fans.
Rapturous?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's a word. I'm pretty sure it means like a lot, you know? It wasn't as rapturous as perhaps I would have liked it to be.
So expecting Wukong ban here for G2, you have to imagine. But then again, Lissandra LeBlanc ban spells Ahri first pick, so they're going to ban away Zeri instead. Now, does Vitality first pick Wukong or Ahri, or do they just go a completely different direction, the GP that you touched on before?
Do the thing, Caedrel.
What? Why? What? Yeah. It's gonna be Ahri. We're professionals. Yeah, match of the week.
I love it when you do that. Wukong, of course, is still up and available. I'm not really too surprised to see the Ahri locked in. Of course, Caps, no stranger to Lissandra. He has, of course, sent other mid laners back to Lissandra, but we know that he's no stranger to grabbing it himself.
He has sent the mid laners back to Lissandra.
He certainly has. Senna, Lissandra could be a pretty safe pickup for them if they wanted to go that direction. We have seen a Xayah actually used as an answer to Ahri to give you that early priority as well. I talk so much about Lissandra and it's been banned away. Clearly, my awareness is going out the window.
Maybe he'll send Perkz back to NA this time.
So
Jensen off Lissandra.
He'll feel like it's an international competition.
Yeah, maybe he does. There's the Senna Wukong. Of course, can flex towards the bot side. There's the GP Viego into lock for Vitality, so a lot of OP picks going through here. Now, does G2 match with top lane for BB? Maybe Fancy's picking up his top laner here. We've seen his Yone, we've seen his Gnar. Gwen is up as well.
I mean, I think Vitality have gotten themselves a pretty dream top side so far.
Ideal.
They have a very comfortable mid-jungle setup with Ahri plus Viego. They've got an Alphari on a champion that is, I think it's his career most played.
There's the Kayle.
Kayle has been a pretty consistent answer into the Gangplank. Does struggle very early levels, but naturally will outscale the longer the game progresses. And already you can see from G2 trending more towards that team fight comp.
Yeah, so mid support we expect left to be picked up for G2 here. Of course, the Wukong can flex, and then bot lane for Vitality. So G2 kind of ban away some of the safe bots. There's Corki. Maybe we see an Azir ban perhaps as well to stop the amount of scaling that G2 have already with the Kayle and the Senna. Could ban away, I mean, Lucian's ban. Kalista could be a good ban if you want to take that away from Carzzy. Could ban away Xayah, Kai'Sa. Just take away any kind of champion that maybe he finds comfort on.
Swain is another one.
Yeah, could be Swain bot for G2 as well on 4 here. Flex it mid. I feel like a Swain ban. Good call there. Could be good for Vitality.
Also, Swain Senna can work down towards that bottom side for G2 if they want to lock it in here.
Yep.
They can also look to Caps playing something with a little bit of poke later on in the game. His Zoe has already brought out this split. Would do wonders for them, but does kind of telegraph yourself into an Ahri when you jump forward, which kind of knows exactly where you're going to go when you jump back. I wouldn't mind the Swain support here.
Good predictor. Of course, it's a flex.
It is flex. I think it... So the reason why I always remember Swain into Ahri is because back in Season 3, when Nuke Duck went to Worlds and played against FLICKR, FLICKR was obviously known for his Ahri, but Lemon Dogs actually left it open, and he picked Swain as a counter pick.
And it wasn't a meta champ at the time, was it?
No, it wasn't. But it was a very well-known counter pick back in the day. He did lose, but that pick I will always remember as a good answer into Ahri.
So Xayah Nautilus picked up. The question here is, what goes bot? You can put Wukong bot, pick a jungle.
It's Swain.
You can put Swain bot, pick a mid laner. You can put Swain mid, pick a bot lane.
I think Swain is mid, and I think they might go...
Xayah. Flakked Xayah. Oh,
yes,
don't do that.
Really
plus
gonna do
Wukong,
that?
Swain bot lane.
He's hovering it because of carrier. There's no way.
Yasuo
no
mid.
way.
No,
surely not, right?
Mid.
Surely
no.
not.
Yasuo
It is Yasuo. Is it Yasuo mid or is it Targamas Yasuo?
Mid. It's Swain Senna bot lane. It's such a powerful bot lane. If you land a last embrace, you pull them back. If you land a root, you land a last embrace. The CC layering, the chain.
Or is it Yasuo top?
Side.
Kayle mid for caps. We know G2 like their flexes.
Farming Kayle with Senna to support her down towards the bottom side. Kayle, we all know, wants to share XP.
The issue I have here is I don't know if we have swap issues in the champ select, but right now, this looks like it would work, but I don't know if Kayle bot is what you would want to play.
In 4 out of 5 games, we have had swap issues in Champion Select. If we don't have it in the 5th game,
but they just swapped. Yasuo might go bot.
Can you hear your own voice?
Yeah, I can hear my own voice.
Aggressivo, doing things.
Okay, well, we'll stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Maybe it is Yasuo bot. I mean, maybe it's Flakked's Yasuo, I guess then, and then Senna Targamas can be piloting a Senna.
Maybe we'll never know.
You can never really tell with G2.
Nope, you never
I have just been told we're redoing with some swaps.
Okay.
So we will find out exactly where everyone is when we get on into the game.
Yep. That means we need to fill for 3 minutes, gentlemen.
Again.
You know what that means?
Pretty good at it, though.
What one are we doing this time?
Do you want to do the other game?
Well, the thing is, you made a good point about crowd interaction earlier. And I feel the other game doesn't really give us too much crowd interaction. If we're doing the word one.
We could do the word
How do you guys know what you're talking about by like saying, let's do the other game?
We've literally cast together for 4 years. That's what we do.
You do your thing.
Should we do item names? But, if I say an item, we go in a round, and the next person has to say an item that starts with the last letter of my item.
We could have the fans like shout one out.
Oh yeah, you guys can start us off if you want. Or they can join in. So we do champions. I'll start, right?
Okay, so here's the rules. Explain the rules.
Here are the rules, right? I will say a champion name. The crowd, you guys, has to shout out a champion name that starts with the last letter of my champion name. Caedrel will then say a champion name that starts with the last letter of the champion name that you have said. You guys get it?
Of course, there are about
Give me a cheer if you get it.
There's like 150 of you, so you all kind of have to come to some sort of consensus.
I feel like the one we hear first. Okay, we ready?
Yeah,
I will start.
So, give an easy one.
Rakan. Nocturne.
Nocturne, okay.
Echo.
On.
That's an N again, isn't it?
Yes.
Nidalee. Evelyn, I heard first.
Okay, Evelyn.
It's an
Got
N.
another N. Nautilus.
Okay.
Nautilus,
S.
that's S. Senna.
Senna, okay, I have an A. Aatrox. Xerath,
I did hear it.
Xerath first, so it's an H.
Come on, you know this. You know this. You know this.
H.
Don't lose again, Caedrel. Come
FLICKR
on.
him.
Yeah, we go.
M. Maokai.
So it's an I.
Yeah.
Ilaoi. Ivan. We didn't think of Ivan
is a good
backstage.
one.
Dude, why do I always get that? Nami.
Nami. Irelia.
Okay, A. Ahri. No, it's an I. What was it? I. You've got I. There's no champions with I that we have
Are they really out of champions? Does the crowd lose?
The crowd loses, I think. Annie, it's an I. It's not an A.
Did they say Irelia yet?
We've got Irelia, we've got
We've said
Ivan,
Irelia.
and what else did we have?
We had Ivan, Irelia, and Ilaoi.
Is there no other champions with I?
The new one is Neela. That starts with an N, my friend. I actually think that might be all the I's.
So the crowd loses.
Crowd loses. Good job, team. We made it there. Good job. Good job.
Booers, yeah. Take the L.
I'll take your booze. I've heard what makes you cheer.
Yeah. Let's antagonize the crowd. That's a good one.
I'm actually trying to look up a list of champions, but I can't get my computer to work. So
No, that's all the I champions. I have it here.
Okay.
It's Ilaoi, Aurelia, Ivern, and then on to Jay, Janna.
Wow.
Sorry, guys.
Take the L, crowd.
Take the L.
Do you want to play again? Yeah? But this time we'll do items to make it even harder, okay? Are you guys in? Okay, you're in? All right. Let's start with...
We could do...
What?
How about we do teams? Teams is a good one.
Teams?
Across the world.
Across the world, in major regions.
So
major region
not
teams
the
across
LCS.
the world, okay?
No, okay.
There's going to be a lot of S's, because everything ends in esports.
Okay.
I will start. Okay, here we go. I feel mean for this one. Team Vitality.
So that's a Y.
A Y. Well, thanks, Medic, for ruining the fun.
No, I've got one. So there is, I believe there is an Upsilon Esports, isn't there?
Yeah, but that's not in a major region.
I don't care.
He's ruined the game. Next game. Next game. Pro players.
Oh, let's do it.
Pro players is a good one. I actually like pro players.
You want to do pro players?
Yes.
Because I was thinking maybe we stop with this one and we do a Caedrel gives us a lie and we have to see if it's a lie or not.
Do you have any fun stories from the past?
I'm sure.
But the problem is, we're going to know if it's a truth or lie because he's only going to think of the truth.
That's true.
Because he can't lie.
Yeah.
This man literally can't tell.
I can lie.
Okay, go on then. I finished Sekiro. Say it.
Okay. So do you understand the rules of the game?
Yeah. Okay. So
you have to tell us.
truth, two lies?
No, you make a statement.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we can ask you questions about the statement, and we need to figure out if it's truth or a lie.
Quick, though. We got 30 seconds. Go.
I have a 100% win rate against Caps on stage as a mid laner.
Okay. When have you played against Caps on stage?
I played against him once.
And
okay, as a mid laner.
What was the mid lane matchup?
It was Cassidy versus Zoe.
Who was the Cassidy?
I was Cassidy.
How long did the game last?
50 minutes, 46 minutes.
Yeah, that
makes sense. Okay, crowd, cheer if you think that it is the truth.
They think it's the truth. We'll find out after we get into game. Team Vitality versus G2 Esports. Was it the truth, Caedrel?
It was the truth.
Well,
I told you can't lie.
Yeah, the crowd's genius.
Crowd is genius.
Couldn't think of a team with a Y start, though.
This one's for you.
Good job, crowd. Round of applause for the crowd, everyone.
Soon they'll start saying, Medic sucks. Like, be careful, they will.
It's understandable.
Right now, the G2 fans are in full
It is
force.
Swain mid.
So let's talk about
So it is Yasuo bot.
Yeah.
Swain mid. Flakked on Yasuo. I think... Wait. I was trying to think if every member of G2 has played Yasuo at this point.
Now, if this was old G2, I would expect them, Caps and Perkz back then, to have played a Yasuo 1v1 and the winner would get to play it.
Yeah.
I wonder if Caps and Flakked did the same thing.
Or it was Flakked and BrokenBlade, because they're wearing their names on each other's faces.
Maybe they had a 1v1. Or maybe they... I know the G2, before the game starts, they have 2 Yasuos in a Baron pit and they hit Qs only. And it's kind of like a dodgeball game.
Mundo dodgeball.
Like the Mundo one, but with Yasuo. They always do that.
Here's how the conversation went. Caps goes, I think we can play Yasuo here. Flakked goes, I can play a bot. Caps looks at him and goes, you sure? I am Caps. Right? And then BrokenBlade points at his face and goes, don't ever doubt my boy. And that's how they ended up in this draft.
Thanks for setting the scene, Vedius.
Yeah, it's good.
That was a good scene set.
That's exactly how it happened.
You should write scripts.
Let's see how Flakked does in this 2 versus 2. Of course, in terms of the matchup, have either of you played this matchup before?
No.
Caedrel?
I have played a lot of Yasuo bot. Not too much success, but I have enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'll say one of the interactions you can think of, obviously it's going to be hard for Flakked because he's melee into range to start off with, but you can put the wind wall down to block the feathers in a similar way that you'd use the Braum shield, so that can be an interaction we'll see. And Carzzy can dodge away from your last breath.
They're actually getting the push here.
Yeah. So a lot of Yasuo matchups you think of, back to the Perkz days, Yasuo Gragas was a good go-to bot lane matchup.
Yeah.
The way that matchup, well, the Yasuo Gragas would function was you give kind of lane push level 1, you try to get level 2, and when the wave's kind of coming into you towards your tower, you just ease through the creeps and all in them with an E-flash. Yasuo Alistar, another good kind of all-in lane if you try to look for level 1, level 2 kills. But I think Yasuo Senna doesn't have a lot of kill pressure. I think bot lane will actually be quite quiet for once unless Vitality overstep, because Targamas can never really follow up with Flakked. He's going to have to go in alone.
While I do agree with that, I will say that the thing that's undervalued, I think, about Yasuo is he can actually clear minions pretty fast, especially early on because of how spammable his Q is. And the range from Targamas means that he can continue to bully Labrov, allowing him to actually get this early push. So now the wave will slow push back towards them. You can see that Jankos has pathed up towards the top side of the map. Expectations are that Alphari will have the push in the 1v1 matchup. You can already see that CS discrepancy starting to build. But typically when you are playing in a Kayle game, the expectation is try and shut down the Kayle versus protect the Kayle. And it seems that with the time being, Haru going to path towards the bot side of the map with this push. They may even threaten a dive, but this would be very risky this early on.
Yeah, very risky. If Flakked gets level 3 and gets the win wall, it's going to be incredibly difficult. I wonder how close he is to that level up, but we'll see. I think Labrov has to kind of flash auto here or just walk up auto and flash out. We'll see what happens.
Labrov will get the order down, TP coming in. They're looking for the damage on Targamas. Sends the first one, looking for 2, but underneath the tower, Labrov will fall. Haru has to flash away. Caps now joining the fray. Knock up onto Perkz. Caps could look for a little bit more damage here, but ends up just being a 1-for-1.
I think it's going to be worth for Vitality, though, because what happens there is they get Caps' TP and they get first blood onto Carzzy. So Caps responds, but look at how he has to run back to mid now quickly to push it out. And now he's basically like a base down. Perkz will TP back mid, Labrov will run towards mid, and now Caps is going to have this awkward state of like, guys, I need you to help me fix my wave.
It does give BrokenBlade some free time in the top lane to not be ganked at level 2, though, because obviously Haru path down towards the bottom side, so BrokenBlade already 4 of the 6. Jankos looking for mid. Perkz going to be able to get away as the charm only hits onto the clone. So BrokenBlade actually gets a free back, or a back without TPing in the top lane here.
Yeah, I think we'll have to keep our eyes on mid for now because Caps needs a push out eventually. So he needs Flakked and Targamas to base after that bot wave, run towards mid. He needs Jankos to push it out, and Vitality not responding here. They should respond with their jungler here and stop this wave from crashing. Labrov is around. They need to force this a little bit and stop them from being able to do this.
Good damage on the Caps from Perkz, but you're right. For now, they're going to be able to push out this wave. This will give Caps an opportunity to reset, which he desperately needs. Root comes through. Good hook from Labrov will get him to safety.
Perkz will hold the wave a bit, so that's going to sting for Caps. Now the question is, does he just cancel his recall and say, guys, we need to push this in more? Or does Labrov find him first? Yeah, he does. He says, guys, we need to push this in. I don't want this to be frozen on.
Charm's going to land onto Caps. Jankos coming in from the side as well. Haru now here. The Spectral Maul's going to catch out Jankos. He will fall. Flakked joins the fray. Labrov will flash away. Haru, though, looking for the backline. Flash forward. Couldn't quite get onto Caps. He's just going to be forced away. Last race back in, and Flakked just needs one more auto. The charm goes out as well. G2 able to strike back in the mid lane. Labrov low. Targamas cancels an auto attack. The knockup. Flakked only onto Perkz. Flakked low as well, but he is able to walk away.
It's a fist fight to fix the mid wave. G2 will finally do it, but Carzzy's the main winner here. I mean, Flakked hasn't been bot. Carzzy's now level 5. He's hitting bot tier 1, crashed a massive wave, got a plate, so G2 had to invest more numbers to fix it. Vitality come out worse on the trade, but I think it's pretty even overall.
Yeah, you can see the gold still in favor of Vitality for the time being. Top lane's been left on a bit of an island, which is definitely to BrokenBlade's advantage for the time being, but props to Haru. He wasn't involved in the initial exchange when contesting around the wave, but he was able to flash over this wall. Well, you can see him hovering around mid right now. He can see the contest coming through. Flakked joins the fray, and while G2 do have numbers, the initial exchange goes in favor of Vitality.
Yeah, here's the 4v3, and Jankos, interesting, falls so early on in the fight. Haru used his W actually instantaneously after picking up the clone. Maybe if he E'd and then W'd afterwards, he could maybe find Perkz, but regardless, turns up in a 1-for-1. Labrov ends up living, and G2 get the wave in, but again, biggest winner is Carzzy.
Really good route there from Targamas, kind of enables the trade advantage to go in the favor of G2. But yeah, kind of crazy. You have to remember that Swain this early on, Wukong this early on, really not that great when it comes to actually fighting. So I'm surprised that G2 committed to that. They felt like with the numbers advantage that they would have, that they would be strong enough to get themselves a couple kills, but Vitality able to turn it around.
Caps no flash, Labrov is just hovering. He wants to Hex Flash and then hit the Q. Caps actually going for the Giant's Belt first item. He's not going to rush Mandate. Looks like he's going to rush Rylai's because maybe he thinks he's really vulnerable to early ganks. So much mobility from the enemy mid-jungle with a GP ult as well, so just wants to get that early tankiness. I think it's just not so much preference, but game state that determines which one you go first. I've seen Swain's go Rylai's first, I've seen him go Mandate first, and maybe he feels like with Ahri having so much mobility, it helps him gap close a bit.
Flakked and Targamas using the fact they have a push in that bottom lane to start up this dragon. Jankos here as well should be an easy enough secure. The Hex Drake does chain a few auto attacks around, but G2 pretty tanky, able to survive that for the moment. First dragon of the game goes over to G2. And for the moment, things in a pretty even state. Vitality with that slight gold lead.
Have a look at, yeah, I was just about to say, if you have a look at the top lane, you can see that Alphari has been doing very well in terms of the isolated 1v1 matchup and bullying out BrokenBlade, especially knowing that the Drake has just been started with Haru hovering around the top side of the map. BrokenBlade forced to reset, did of course still have the TP though. The Herald now about to spawn. Let's have a look at this Vitality, a bot lane, and what they'll do. Jankos needs to reset. and Haru already on the objective. I expect the rotation to come up into mid from the Vitality bot lane, as they're beginning to do now. This should set up the first Herald to go in favor of Vitality.
The beauty here is Vitality could go towards mid, push mid, go to Herald, take Herald, and Alphari can ult bot wave if G2 pushes that in. So I think Flakked realizes we could push bots right now, but we can't get plates because of GP ult. So we have to match. And I think there might be a little bit too late to match, because right now they have got the mid wave in. The Herald has been started up. We'll see if Jankos can test for a steal and can buy time for the rest of G2 to collapse, because he needs to be entwined with Flakked for the knock-up.
I'm looking for it right now. Jankos has the flash Cyclone. X flash away. There's the charm onto Jankos into the hook. The Rift Herald secured by Haru. Jankos only gets one knock-up onto Labrov. Perkz looking for a flank position here. Second knock-up coming down. Labrov will pay for the Herald with his life, but Vitality very happy to get out with that.
Yeah, it's instantaneous gold versus expected gold, right? Labrov falls, gives over 300 gold. Herald gives 320 gold worth of plates. So if you have tempo and you have a good lane state and you've killed the enemy laner and you can put the Herald down, maybe it nets you a full tower. So we'll see how Vitality use it, but ends up in a 1-for-0 for G2.
So resets coming out from the rest of Vitality right now. You can actually see a wave stacking in top lane. Alphari choosing not to contest it because he realizes the rest of his team needs to back off. Cautious of a potential dive, but he has information as to where both Caps and Targamas are. Now Haru and Labrov make their way towards mid. Perkz threatens a potential play, and immediately G2's mid support duo are going to disengage. So the gold continues to stay dead even. Carzzy will be able to catch this bot wave. Flakked, being the benefactor of that kill, will mean that he should be sitting on a decent amount of gold right now.
Yeah, has to flash. Yeah. Vision of Empire would give him a slow, and then the Never Move can follow up after that. Perkz with no ult.
And it's one of those scenarios where you don't have TP, so if you have to flash afterwards anyway, you're now under threat of being dove. And the fact that Jankos has flash up, regardless of whether he has ult or not, if you get slowed, he can flash over the wall and chase you. So no mobility would be left. Jankos hovering around the top side now. Just going to take the blast cone and back away. Has a pink, maybe he drops it in this bush before he finishes that recall. Give a little vision over to BrokenBlade. But he's going to save it for now. Try to build towards that Sunder. Rylai's complete for Caps. Dragon in 2 minutes. Still Herald in Vitality's back pocket of Haru, hovering towards bot right now.
Yeah, maybe looking to funnel some more gold into Carzzy here. He's already taken 2 of these plates down. Would like to buff that up to a full 5. He's got the serrated Dirk on the Xayah. It's a lethality build Xayah. We still see every now and again. Was nerfed quite heavily a few patches ago, but does still work, of course.
Definitely does. It's being played a little bit in the LCK. Can't think off the top of my head the exact player, but I've seen it kind of floating around the Ahri poke Xayah. LCK love their poke champs, of course. Varus, a big flavor of the month for them. A little bit in spring when ADs are banned out. Not so much in the west, but now Vitality is stacking this bot wave. They could just Herald here, get the tower to half a plate left, and then back off and get it on the next rotation. But you could also fancy a dive, and that's what Jankos is here for. Alphari just used the GP ult top to fix his wave, so if they dive here, they don't have a GP ult. So that's going to sting a bit.
Looks like they're not going to overcommit. I think that Haru was doing the exact same thing, where for the time being he was just covering. Carzzy though will be spotted.
Pops the Feather Storm, that's safe. Makes sense, just burn the ultimate, don't need to use your summoners. Then Back's just around the corner once again, but will now realize he has to stay around to catch this wave as it pushes in towards him.
So what we've seen from games over the last 2 weeks on this new patch is early games and mid games are slower, giving you more time to make decisions as to where you want to move on the map. But the mid to late game fights are so much longer that there's a lot more skill expression involved, and kind of how you use your cooldowns becomes more important. We've seen that over the last couple games, and I think with the champion in this game, we might see a similar sort of thing. So we're building up to those dragon fights. 40 seconds from now, we'll see if G2 want to try to secure that with this bot push that they already have. And Haru's looking around mid, still has this Herald, can pop it down before the dragon spawns to force that mid push.
Caps right now with the mid push. Dragon spawns in about 30 seconds time, and it's G2's control of the bot side of the map. Xayah making her way back onto the map.
A lot of potential coming out, yeah, but the Caps is so tanky here. Dawning Shadow used as well. Labrov rooted in place, going to get the knockup. They're trying to turn it back around onto Caps, who will have the Demon Flare in a moment's time. Comes out of it.
So Dragon in 10, Caps has TP, doesn't have ult, neither does Jankos, neither does Targamas. So 3 ults invested for Labrov's. Does that open up a window for Vitality to contest? I think the answer is no. They have to look for something on the top side of the map. Haru taking away camps. Herald's expiring. Looks like he's going to drop it top for Alphari, but they don't have a wave to work with, so all the golds will go to Haru.
I think it's, you see Caps TP down towards the bottom side, you know G2 are investing around the Dragon. You can see Vitality immediately move up into this red side quadrant, try and get the vision down. Haru's going to press forward with this Rift Herald, but BrokenBlade very safe. It does have the flash, has the Divine Judgment, and all that gold, as you say, will go over to Haru. Puts him about 700 gold ahead of Jankos.
I think it's important to note, though, that BrokenBlade is at a very uncontested early game. Getting closer and closer to level 11. This will be the first gank thrown top of the game.
What are you going to do here, though? Hook under the tower, and BrokenBlade just turns around and auto-attacks you. Divine Judgment still available for the G2 top laner.
I wonder if Carzzy didn't have E there. I think he took Crab, and he used E on the Crab to finish it off. If he had a QE auto there, he probably could have rooted up. BrokenBlade got his ult, got his flash maybe. Looked like he didn't. Exhaust follow-up perhaps, but that has not happened. He's just going to push out top for now. 2 plays left on that tower. Alphari has the cannon barrage up again, so he can play the weak side pretty happily, and it looks like G2 want to match their bot lane.
All right, well, I think it's fair to say that so far, Vitality have done a fairly solid job in the early game. You can see they've accrued a very small gold lead, largely in thanks to the plays they've been able to secure themselves, but still overall a very close game. But when I think of Vitality so far this split, I don't really think of them kind of messing up their early game. I actually think they've demonstrated some pretty good macro as well. It's really their mid-game team fights that I think that they've fallen short, especially when we think to yesterday. I wonder how the decision-making and the shot calling actually plays out when it comes to the fights, because their engages are a bit messy, as Alphari sees an opportunity to all in on caps, but he's going to very quickly disengage from that. You can see the rest of Vitality looking for an opportunity, but it didn't really result in much.
It's also the power of going Rylai's first on the Swain. You're very tanky inherently by getting that bit of extra health through the Giant spell. Imperial Mandate doesn't give you quite as much, so going for that Rylai's, if anyone tries to chase you down, you can pop Demonic Extension, you gain more health, you get the slows down, it becomes very hard to chase you on a side lane.
And we see the amount of work Caps can do in these fights, right? We saw it yesterday, him dancing around the rest of it. I think it was BDS on the Ahri. And yeah, I mean, he has the Swain, he needs the Imperial Mandate. We'll see how much he can pull out in these fights, because he's been the clutch factor for G2 at MSI, in playoffs, in their massive streak, and he's almost like the core of G2 over the last couple of years.
It certainly has been. You look at the damage percentage and the damage per minute that he's getting. It's just a lot of damage for a mid laner. Caps has continued to demonstrate a great performance, and especially when you think back to last split, I think most people rated him as like 4th, arguably.
We did a tier list with
5th.
Nisqy in the mid lane.
It was kind of crazy, and this split, it definitely feels like that he's back on top. He is the mid laner to beat right now. And I'm curious to see him go up against Perkz, who so far, to be fair, has had a very solid game. His laning phase is definitely not something that has really been under scrutiny so far this split.
And I feel like Caps has been the mid laner to beat since 2018.
Yep.
That's 4 years ago. He's been at the top of his game, all-pro, championships, you know,
except that
titles.
one split where he went AD and then Perkz.
Oh yeah, Perkz did, yeah, he had to roll swap to lose his throne. Yeah. And yeah, Caps has always been sitting atop of it for those 4 years. Incredible consistency. But just zooming back on in this game, is part of 100% of their kills so far. Vitality's going to get the second Herald. 2 dragons over to G2 so far. Next one in 2 minutes. They can take this top tier 1. It's extremely low HP. Alphari still has the cannon barrage. Hasn't used it for any wave clear just yet. And G2 posturing for some kind of mid-siege.
They're looking for something here. Perkz going to be forced back. Never move, pausing back. There's the last embrace, and there's the follow-up that I was talking about. Everfrost coming out. The hook's going to land, but Caps goes into demon form, and Labrov is going to be the one forced away.
Look at the slow.
The slows from the Rylai is absolutely absurd. Alongside that Senna with the piercing dark. It's very difficult to escape G2 if you overinvest.
Caps just showcasing how tanky he is. Jankos looking for a kill. Good use of the decoy there will allow him to get to safety. Pop the ultimate, likely to clear the Raptors as G2 continue the siege in mid. You can see that Haru on his way back onto the map, but G2 have got good damage down onto this mid tier 1.
Yeah, Perkz doesn't have TP and no ult, so Caps knows he has a basic free lane phase here. Flakked, of course, is the one farming on G2, not Targamas, so Targamas can stay mid. Flakked is happy sitting bot. Now Jankos finds Haru, no ult. Labrov's inbound.
Looking for something right now. Haru going to get caught with the edge of that piercing dark. Hook's going to land. Death Charge coming out as well with a dawning shadow. It's enough. Caps brought in with a Divine Judgment as well. Haru taken out by Flakked. And Vitality looked for something, but immediately went at a numbers disadvantage.
Yeah, BrokenBlade flash ulting Caps there to stop Haru getting the kill and getting the reset where he could cause massive damage in the fight. 40 seconds on Dragon. G2 won't get an objective, but because there's death timers on Vitality, they can take a base here and keep tempo on the map.
Well played there by G2. Just kind of lack of information from Vitality. As we kind of look back, I want to draw your attention to the minimap. You can see that Haru is effectively face-checking the Fog of War. Jankos says, well, you know what? We've still got 4 members hovering around. Yasuo on his way down from the top river, the Kayle right behind them, and Caps gets engaged on initially. Good damage comes out for Vitality, and watch BrokenBlade here. Flash, ultimate, as BrokenBlade is now the target of attack for Vitality.
They know he doesn't have his ultimate, and Perkz has the Spirit Rush. BrokenBlade trying to trade onto them, but at level 12, he's just not strong enough yet. Alphari takes the kill.
Yeah, third dragon is now spawning. G2, do they want to fight? It looks like they do. Flakked misses the knock-up. Could have been a pick there, turn it into a 4v4. Carzzy's pushing in mid, Caps is on the way, isn't investing the TP, and BrokenBlade will be up in 25 with the TP. I think they're going to have to call for a mid tower here, but they've lost their wave here, G2. So what's the call? Vitality going to start it up and play through bot.
Vitality playing that very well. Getting that initial pick. They're allowing Alphari to push in through bot. Carzzy pushing in mid. He's a little bit isolated right now on the left-hand side. But Vitality do have access to the Drake. Jankos looking for the play.
Flashes away. Featherstorm not available for the Vitality. AD carry the Cyclone into last bet combo. Means that he will fall. Dragon still up. BrokenBlade has the TP. Will use it towards the bottom lane. Haru looking for something. Is G2 able to escape? Caps flashes over the wall and the demon is here. And he's hungry for blood. No escape from G2 for Vitality. They're just burning where they stand. Vitality flashing back underneath their tower. A good charm from Perkz, good stun from Haru, a good reset. Will get them one reset. Caps was able to get another. Off towards Perkz, down towards the bottom side. FLICKR trying to get in here as well. Haru looking for a little bit more damage, but the exhaust comes out. Vision and Empire gonna get the slow. Haru going in, but can't get onto Caps. Alphari dodging in and now FLICKR takes them. And G2 clean up the fight.
Massive team fight by then. It's 5 kills over to them. I mean, Vitality get a couple consolation prizes on shutdowns, but it's G2 all the way.
It was such a good attack onto Carzzy. G2 recognized that he's isolated. We were talking about how he was kind of left a little bit on his own to push out that mid wave, and G2 maintained control of this one bush just outside the red buff. You can still see that ward as well hovering around there. They use this information, but Vitality, they're not giving up the Drake just yet.
TP coming in. Of course, no smite here for G2. Carzzy looking for the steal, and he'll get it. Divine Judgment coming in as BrokenBlade, trying to get out of his with the depth charge will knock him up. Caps TP'd in, but wasn't here in time. Vitality able to strike back.
That's massive for Vitality. Does Haru still have the Herald? I wonder if he's used it. Yes, he did use it, so they won't be able to get this. No, he just used it now, so they will be able to get this mid-tier 1, I think. So that's a massive play. They get the Dragon, stop the Soul Point, they get a kill onto BB, and now they're going to get a mid-tier 1 you have to expect, because I think if they just walk up here, they have the numbers to threaten this tower.
Vitality, again, another symptom of the durability update is that these fights go on for so long, you get to respawn, come back out onto the map, and you're able to leverage your tempo in order to gain a small advantage. G2, though, doing a good job of holding the line. Jankos with the engage.
Dawning Shadow just wide. Perkz able to dodge it. And Rift Tower did charge in, but wasn't able to get enough damage to take down the tower.
Yeah, G2 just fighting back there. They know that clearing the wave is option number 1, but the only way to access the wave is fighting. Perkz finds Jankos.
Jankos can just dodge away. Perkz still chasing forward. Of course, no charm left for the Vitality mid laner, as Vitality will pick up some of these honey fruit.
So G2 are looking for this top tier 1, but Vitality are still sticking around.
Yeah, right now it seems that they don't feel the need to reset. Alphari, level 13, should be able to win out in this 1v1. Jankos just going for a bit of poke. Won't overcommit. Alphari realizes there's no way you're engaging on me if your teammate is not here, so he's not going to take the bait. Perkz now making his way up. Labrov has found Caps.
Caps still has the demonic extension. He's going to go into it immediately. Everfrost going down. He's trying to get away to the blast cone, but he's knocked back in. I think that was the piercing dart from Targamas that actually brought him back. Haru able to pick up the kill. They do get a 1-for-1.
Okay, so Caps, he just face checks the Tri-Brush. He was not expecting that many members of Vitality to be hovering around the top side of the map. But this is just a brawl, both teams contesting absolutely every objective. And Vitality, they keep the gold even.
And it's been funny to watch Carzzy and Flakked on the minimap there, because they were contesting mid waves. They were trying to hover top side, but then Flakked was like, you're going to take my mid tower if I run up here. And Carzzy's just hovering around mid, threatening that. So the AD is never really able to join that fight. Carzzy going to go back to this wave after taking the red buff. So a lot of 4v4 action happening on the top side. G2 trying to make an aggressive play on towards the top tier 1, Vitality defending it.
I think it's really important to appreciate the largest goal discrepancy right now is just between the supports. You can see that Alphari has an advantage top, Haru has an advantage in the jungle, mid is pretty even, AD carry is pretty even, but this Senna has just been involved in so many kills, and Labrov has been dying a lot. That's kind of where the goal difference really is kind of amounting for G2.
Stacks on Senna also give you gold, so you can get that passively just by collecting those throughout the game.
And he's nearly at 100 stacks already.
94 already. Wow. A lot easier against a melee opponent in lane to get those stacks up.
I mean, we also think about the fact that there's been so much skirmishing in the early game. Targamas has just been getting a lot of harass out. He's been getting a lot of stacks just by hitting enemy champions. And then on top of that, he can just follow his jungler around and be like, yoink, 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 yoink. Thank you very much. I'll take all these souls from the jungle camps. And yeah, he's been super efficient with these early stacks.
It's something G2 used to do a lot when Reckless was on the team as well. They used to have Reckless follow Jankos, get him as many stacks as possible. And 94 at 22 minutes is a sizable sum. Caps pushing down towards the bottom side, doesn't have the TP, and Vitality trying to gain control over this top side of the jungle, while they know the G2 mid laner is not there.
Yeah, hook goes wide, BB's forced back here. G2 needs to get a little bit of vision in their own jungle. You can see Vitality own this top side jungle. 4 wards littered in with a blue orb and another ward just over the Baron pit just gives them so much vision. Targamas doesn't have the sweeper up yet, he just used it mid, so those wards are going to stay there for quite a long time, and Vitality will have a lot of information to work with.
Caps as well. He's deciding to go for the Leandri's Anguish instead of the Imperial Mandate. Hook does go in, but Jankos can still decoy away. Spectral Maw just short. Never move, misses from Caps. Perkz dashes in. Caps dodges everything as per usual, and Perkz dashes out. Vision of Empire going down. Caps looks for another Never move. Can't quite land it. Just clips the tail of that Ahri.
Bit of a frustrating play there for Perkz, because as Labrov hit the hook, Perkz ulted forwards, imagining that a play is going to happen. Jankos gets away, and then Perkz just really wants to reforce something. Caps, of course, kind of cocky movement, dodging everything. Perkz just forced to run away. And now this top tier 1, which G2 looked for earlier on in the game, will fall.
So I can hear the chat typing away. 14 out of 16. The clock is ticking. The Monka S's are coming out as BrokenBlade gets ever closer to that scary part of Kayle. And one of the topics I wanted to bring up was this concept of scaling. Because when you have Senna and Kayle and kind of Swain relative to Ahri, that's a lot of scaling on the side of G2. And not only have they been able to find early kills going in their favor, they've also got a very healthy gold lead right now. And the next dragon is spawning. 2 items are being completed across the board for G2. And even though Kayle is not level 16, I think they can feel pretty confident about forcing a fight.
Also have to be very careful of the GP. Wayward today in their game against FPX was hitting some insane barrel combos on the backline, practically one-shotting them before the fight started. So as much as they lost that game, the damage a GP can do with one barrel combo is immense. G2 now setting up for this dragon. Vitality posturing towards the top side of the river. G2 on the bot side. Battle lines drawn. Carzzy's on mid-wave though, so it looks like maybe Vitality just focusing on his mid-tier 2. G2 have to start the dragon.
It's not Soul anymore, right? So Vitality could just force down the mid lane here. Caps will start up the dragon. They'll get it, but Vitality are trying to catch them as they rotate towards that mid lane. Caps is charmed. There's the Frost going down. He's half HP. Spectral Maw coming out with the Never move. Will catch Haru. Last Embrace going out as well as Jankos looks for it. Heartbreaker out. Dawning Shadow just short. Haru ticks down to Caps. Caps flashing forward. The charm's going to hit him, though, and he will go down as well. BrokenBlade front during the fight. From the bottom side, Jankos low. Divine Judgment just in time. Now Alphari pots the stopwatch up towards the top of the fight. Carzzy's fighting against Flakked, but Flakked is not quite able to win it out. Carzzy, Labrov still standing. Targamas, Jankos and BrokenBlade alive on the other side. Carzzy down now, and it's only Labrov that remains amongst the ruins of his team. G2 will chase him down.
Yeah, Labrov's gonna die here. Maybe just give the kill over to BrokenBlade, get a little bit more gold for that kill. We'll see how they do it. No, Jankos just takes it and pops the emote. Massive wombo combo in the backline from Flakked there. Jankos helping out a little bit. Caps just flashing straight into all of them.
And you can see that the idea from Vitality was, as G2 secure the Drake, they want to move back towards the mid-wave so that they can contest it. So Vitality controlled this choke point, but it's Caps that face checks, and look at how much damage he actually just soaks up. He doesn't care about taking this combo. He loses half of his HP, but what does he do? Then pops the ultimate, the root comes down to Haru over steps, and then the re-engage from G2.
Yeah, Haru a bit late to respond, and Caps' flash here a little bit confusing. I wonder if he knows BB's TPing mid and he wants to flash to the side to try and get towards the Kayle. Nevertheless, Jankos is the one that gets ulted and saved as Carzzy tries to take him down, so massive clutch ult there keeps him alive, and Carzzy versus Flakked, the duel happens. Carzzy ends up winning, but Jankos shuts him down.
And I think that engage combo there from G2 was so clean. The double knockup from Jankos into the ultimate from Yasuo. Props to Alphari though, his Gangplank ultimate on the backline was doing huge damage. Fortunately for him, it wasn't quite enough. That overstep from Haru proved to be detrimental as no resets came through from Vitality. And a big teamfight win once again for G2.
This Senna is level 14. Incredible amount of kill participation. I wonder how many stacks, 120 stacks at 26 minutes. So Targamas is ramped up right now, and Vitality, they have a couple of item breakpoints, right? Carzzy's just hit 3 items, Perkz is close to that Rabadons, but I think the main threat is this Senna, and Kayle is 1 level away from 16. You were talking about the Kayle and Senna, so 2 targets Vitality have to poke out or kill.
I mean, Flakked's also at 2 items on the Yasuo with the Infinity Edge alongside the Immortal Shield Bow, not going for the Blade of the Ruin King, which is the build we have been seeing since about 12-10. Instead looking for that crit chance, looking for that extra damage. Carzzy here, oh, what? That was a lot of damage that I don't think anyone was expecting as Targamas is chunked to half.
Lethality, yeah.
Yeah, just seeing that damage, you have to wonder how much poke Vitality have. Let's take stock. Xayah with the Ahri, with the E, GP as well with the poke. I mean, Perkz can play poke-ish if he dashes forward, chunks someone out and trades his ult for a numbers advantage. So I feel like Vitality need that poke setup before a fight begins in such an explosion where Wukong and Swain and Kayle are flashing on your face and Yasuo's ulting.
Observers, if you could be so kind as to click BrokenBlade's icon so we could have a look at how close. Here it comes, the level 16.
Oh, there it is.
There
perfect timing.
Jankos is smiling.
Fully ascended.
The timer has been struck. Chat, Monka S's are in full force as Kayle now achieves her highest ascension. This is where things get really scary for Vitality, and BrokenBlade really gets to demonstrate his carry potential. Looks like that he has completed a stopwatch also on Jankos, a stopwatch also on Targamas, a stopwatch also on Haru. I think everyone knows what time it is right now. And this next fight is largely going to be
10:26.
Thank you, Caedrel.
In Berlin.
In Berlin.
We have 1 minute and 30 seconds until the next straight. Of course, Soul Point for G2. And our final game of the weekend, match of the week. Perkz versus Caps, part 7.
The Perkzing. Jankos looking for something here, though. Gets the knockup last bet onto Perkz, and Perkz is just deleted. The movie might be named after him, but he's one of those characters that dies very early on. 2 kills now, as Flakked gets a second Dawning Shadow going out. BrokenBlade just tanking for days. Fully ascended, arisen a flame. BrokenBlade shredding through Vitality.
Yeah, G2 just own the map right now. They're going to go to Baron, get in, reset, and then go towards their Drake, their Soul Point. Vitality have TP on these solo lanes, but there's 20 and 30-second respawn timers on them. Caps just zoning away the rest of Vitality.
Diana Yasuo, Wukong Yasuo, it doesn't matter what they pair with Yasuo, G2 will replicate the same engage that they have done time and time again. Jankos finds a target, he gets the knockup, and the ultimate from Yasuo immediately follows. Easy enough, easy to execute. The G2 once again find the kill, and they will once again find themselves with the ban.
And yeah, Perkz thought he was safe here, but Jankos just goes invisible, and the second the knockup lands, the chain CC connects, he instantly dies. Alphari almost gets a good barrel combo on the back line. BrokenBlade pops the ult early on to keep Flakked safe, and then Carzzy has no chance into this fight. Doesn't get a good E off. Jankos pops the stopwatch, and yeah, BrokenBlade just frontlining on this level 16 Kayle.
I also love the fact that Caps TP'd at the end of the fight. After everything had happened, it's like, cool, yeah, I'm here now. Guys, did you need me? Apparently not, as Vitality try and set up around this Drake.
They're already here. They have control through the bot wave, and now they've gained access onto the Drake, so they're still in this game at the very least. Perkz does have the ultimate backup, Alphari not quite yet.
Perkz looking for the charm. Jankos able to dodge to the side of it. Everfrost going in. Jankos looking to steal here. The reset onto the Dragon. Jankos rooted though. It's going to be low. Caps tries to get onto the back line. Pops the stopwatch. Rylai's doing some work here. Jankos can still get in here. The Everfrost, the charm just short as Perkz dives away. Blast cone in. Flakked on the back line. Jankos able to secure the Ocean Soul for G2, and Perkz has been chased down by Targamas. Flakked now fighting against Haru and Carzzy. This Ocean Soul is going to do so much work for G2 here. Everyone from G2 is still alive, and everyone from Vitality's died.
A clean ace goes for G2, as with the Baron buff, with the Dragon Soul, they're looking to end their week with a win. A dominant performance from G2 as Vitality falls short.
Yeah, they don't have any waves in bot, but they have a mid wave. I think Caps will be able to get this tier 2, but they're probably going to have to back off after that. The fight looked terrible for G2 at the start. Jankos is the main initiator to get Flakked in the back line, and he was really chunked out, but the rest of G2 made it happen. Caps really aggressive in the front line, pops stopwatch, and we'll see that again, but it looks like they're going to get on this inhib, and they might back off
maybe
afterwards.
They can't end just yet. Haru is back alive, Perkz is back alive. They have a wave pushing in bot. Looks like that they could contest a second inhibitor if they wanted to. Will they overstay? Yes, they will. They feel strong enough for the time being.
I don't think it's an overstay if they can still win the fight afterwards, Vedi. We'll see. As they
no ultimate for Jankos right now, but everything else is up for G2.
They're so strong. I think they can just siege this tier 3. Caps needs to be careful though.
Caps is hooked. No Zonya's for him. Demonic Ascension goes out. Look at the damage. Oh, Caps just tanked. He's still tanking the tower. He's still tanking. Oh, look at him go. Judgment. It's like a Beyblade. Just let him rip through the enemy team. Caps still alive. Vitality, you can't say the same about them. Only Perkz can watch as the G2 that he once led to glory takes down his new team. G2, after the loss to BDS yesterday, perhaps people wondered if it would be a happy weekend for them. Well, it's going to dive Perkz. They're diving Perkz, who acquires a stopwatch and stops himself from dying.
He gets 2.
Perkz gets 2. He's looking for more. Can he fight against Targamas? Labrov is here. The Nexus will fall though, and G2 will go 4-1 in the LEC.
A bit personal there at the end. 5-man diving Perkz on the Nexus, gets himself a triple kill to round it out. Laughs that one off, but yeah, G2 just in full control from start to finish. Massive props to Targamas, almost like the unsung hero, just really getting so far ahead on that Senna.
Yeah, I mean, the early game, BrokenBlade was largely uncontested. We saw constant roams from this bot lane of Flakked and Targamas. Targamas landing so many roots, having such massive impact on the Senna. And overall, a great game, great performance from G2. Bounced back after a struggling loss yesterday.
Yep.
But questions continue to rise for Vitality. A team that, with the introduction of Haru, the expectation was set that they would come in reforged, reformed, a new level, and it feels like that we're still not seeing the level that we were promised from this Vitality squad.
Definitely aren't, but we are seeing an incredible level from G2. Everyone talks about the MSI hangover, but I don't think G2's feeling it. Of course, they lost to BDS yesterday, but bouncing back against Vitality today. We've seen so many different comps coming out of them, and they look like they're having a hell of a good time doing it.
Yeah, they certainly do.
Really look like they enjoy themselves. Vitality, on the other hand, of course, still unable to find exactly the winning formula for this team, and we'll have to see if they're able to fix things as the games go on.
See if that formula can come in summer, because it needs to happen soon.
The bro-man between Flakked and Broken,
shushing everyone out there.
You can vote for your key player of the games at LEC on Twitter. Caps, Flakked, and Targamas are your options. I think all of them had good games. I think seeing Flakked on Yasuo is something I didn't really expect.
Also, big shout out to the audience this weekend. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. The energy has been wonderful. We have had a lot of delays, a lot of issues. We appreciate you sticking with us through them all and giving a very enjoyable experience. Players have had a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun. We've had some bangings to close out week 2.
It's been a long weekend.
It certainly has been. But we've had some crazy games. BDS leveling up. The
Astralis.
Yeah, the Astralis surprising. Rogue seem to be slowly getting back on form. Misfits getting their first win of the split. Like, a lot of stuff has been happening here in week 2, and it sets us up for an insane week 3, especially as G2 and Fnatic will take to the stage.
XL still looking dominant as well.
That's
like
also
their
true,
win today against Mad Lions was absolutely
very dominant. LEC
Can you believe that he just walked in front of the camera?
Yeah.
Can you believe that? Doesn't even notice. Now he's noticed. We should just let people do that more often. It's like, if you're willing to walk in front of the camera, you should just be allowed to do it.
Fine. It's not on half the time, to be fair. All right, well, we're just waiting for an interview. We're exhausted.
Yeah, we can go to the interview right now. Hand it over to Laure, who's standing by with Caps.
Lovely.
Capital P.
Thank you guys, Cavs. Thanks again for joining me for this interview. Congrats on taking Match of the Week. Let's talk about the draft first, because whenever I see a Yasuo, I never know who's going to play it in the end. So how do you choose who's going to play Yasuo? Because here you could have flexed it anywhere, basically.
I mean, it used to be a requirement on G2 to play a lot of different champs. This year, it's the Yasuo. So we've seen it in 3 roles now. And let's see when Jankos and Saga can pull it out as well.
All right. Who would you say is the best? No, you know what? Rank the Yasuo players at G2, from the best one to the worst one.
If maybe even Flakked are watching them, they should probably turn it off now, because I would obviously choose myself as number 1.
Of course.
I beat Viego and Yasuo.
Right.
I think that BB and Flakked are both really good Yasuos, but I would probably put BB slightly above Flakked.
Okay.
I think Flakked is really good for an AD carry, Yasuo. And I think if he keeps playing it, he will look even better in the future.
All right, we'll need to see all the Yasuo players from G2, obviously. But let's talk about your week. Losing against BDS yesterday, but I mean, they went toe-to-toe against Fnatic today. So how do you reflect on that game you had against them?
I mean, it was kind of a disaster. I think I was dying a lot in the early game, especially. I died a lot, and then we kind of came up back in the game, but it just wasn't enough to close it out in the end. Today it was a lot better early game. I don't think we really died much. And then when it came to like the Drake fights, the skirmishes, we were just winning them. So I think a lot better play from us today.
It's always super random with best of ones. Obviously, anything can happen. But I was talking to Guldborg earlier and telling him that XL may be one of the best performing teams in the LEC. He still told me that G2 is the best. How do you react to that?
I mean, I appreciate that. I think that, I mean, obviously we won the spring, so I can understand that we're still like the team to beat. But at the same time, we saw yesterday we can lose to BDS, we can lose to everyone. I think all the teams in Europe have their own strengths and can be really good on the day.
Yeah.
So we will have to bring our A game if we want to win every game.
When I see the way all the teams are performing right now, it feels like the LEC is more competitive, let's say. Do you agree?
I mean, for sure, I think it's more competitive than the last split. And even like, I think some of the previous splits I played on, I think especially like the Battle for Worlds is going to be really interesting. And I feel like there's a lot of teams that can take it, where usually it's not that many. So it's going to be really fun to see.
Yeah, that week was interesting, for sure. Last question for you, Caps. I know your whole family is here in the audience, and they were here for you this weekend. Anything you want to tell them? You can go in Danish, but you have to translate afterwards.
Right.
Because I don't speak that language.
Jeg vil bare sige tak fordi I kom og støtter mig. Selvom vi tabte i går, så er jeg glad for, at I er her. Og at vi vinder i dag, det er bare super.
That was really cool. And thank you guys for coming, of course. Thank you, Cavs, for the interview. Congrats on taking the Match of the Week. And we're gonna take a break now. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with PGL. Don't go anywhere, guys. See ya.